I'm very excited about our next guest. Very excited.
Yes,
the
me too.
National Ambassador for Young People's Literature, Jason Reynolds.
Yes,
back.
there's only one.
The best-selling author is out with a new book. It's called Stuntboy. In the meantime, the middle-grade graphic novel is about a boy named Portico Reeves who becomes Stuntboy. It's an alter ego. He's a superhero. He keeps his friends and neighbors safe in his apartment building. And he's also coping with some real-world issues. Anxiety, his parents' divorce, things people go through. Stuntboy, in the meantime, happens to be published by Simon & Schuster, a division of Viacom CBS. But Jason Reynolds is back with us because the book is very good, and we love Jason.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Always good to see you all.
This is an exciting book, as a lot of your stories are when they're not super serious. But before we get into the plot, I'm very interested in the dedication. This is dedicated to a 10-year-old you.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about that.
The question is, who was I at 10, right? What was going on in my life at 10 years old? And for me, my life was turning upside down. Things were shifting, things were changing. The dynamics of my family were definitely transforming because my parents were going through a divorce. And I had no idea what to do about it. And they really didn't know what to tell me to help me cope with it. And so I felt a little inverted, to say the least.
And this story, you think, could be a window for kids like you who are going through that?
You know, what I hope it is that it's a window and a mirror in that way, but also a tool that can be used by adults so that they can read this with their young people to help process sort of what's happening in the shifting sands of family, right? It's okay that it's happening, right? It's one of those things that sort of happen, but how can I figure out how to write something that young people can laugh and go on this adventure with, and adults can say, this is what's going on, and this is how we can talk about it.
Jason, I think this is so important because when I was getting a divorce, favorite daughter and favorite son were very young, and we made up this fantastical story that Daddy was moving out because he had to catch the burglar in the other house, so he'd be moving. I mean, and when you look at it now, I feel it's such a terrible thing to do to children because they kept saying, when is he coming back? Did he catch the burglar? And I like when you lay out divorce, you say, listen for any of these word combinations. Think of it like cracking the code. When your parents say, our relationship, we love you, things change, things won't change. These things happen, not your fault.
Yeah.
These were words you heard.
Absolutely.
And confused you even more?
They definitely confused me more because there was nothing else behind it to sort of help me process what was actually going on. So if this is not what it is, then what is it?
What is it?
Right, what is it? And I think I just needed a little extra grounding, a little extra footing. And so you can say it's not my fault. Well, then whose fault is it?
Is it, yeah.
Right.
You talk about Portico having the frets.
Yeah.
Talk about the frets. I think we all still have the frets. What are the frets?
Anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, it's a way that we can talk about anxiety,
turning.
stomach turning, and to figure out, my whole goal was, how can we figure out how to write about anxiety in a way that feels spot on in terms of what's happening in the body? It makes it feel as though all of your organs are being rearranged, right? And for a young person who doesn't understand how to communicate that all the time, I wanted to give them the voice to say, like, I get it when your stomach's in your throat, or when your brain's in your stomach, or when your heart's in your legs, or, right? Like, and figuring out how to talk about the discombobulation of anxiety.
Yeah, kids go through so much, and there's so many children that will identify with this. But a quote comes to mind, it's, I needed a superhero, so I became one.
For sure.
Is that an overarching message to kids out there that might be searching for something, not knowing that it could be a mere reflection?
It is. It's to say that the things that make us super are typically the things that are inherent. They're usually not any mutations, right? It's compassion. This is a young man who is so empathetic that his superpower is saving the superheroes. He just doesn't want anyone to be hurt, including his parents. And so he's willing to take on more weight than he deserves to take on to ensure that he can save his parents from themselves.
Jason, you say you write for all children, but you write for Black children in particular. What's the distinction in your mind?
I write 2 Black children.
2 Black
I
children.
write 2 Black children. I write for all children. And the distinction is simple. My books are love letters to Black kids, roadmaps. But at the end of the day, the themes in these books are universal for all children. Everybody knows what it is to have a best friend. Everybody knows what it is to be sad, to be afraid, to be happy.
Have a bully like Herbert.
To have a bully, right, like Herbert, right? All of this is real. I just happen to ground them in the framework of Black children because that's what I directly connect to.
Do you have one tip in 15, 20 seconds for parents trying to get their kids started on a life of reading?
Oh, listen and pay attention to what your kids are already interested in. It is foolish to fight against the stimuli of their time. You will not win. So figure out how to work with YouTube and TikTok and introduce reading that way.
Okay.
That is
Okay,
powerful.
That is good advice.
When we
Great
first
advice.
met you, you were single. Have you gotten someone yet? Do I need to fix
Come
you
on,
up?
Gayle. What
You
are you
know the
talking
answer.
about? Hey,
This is a
No, no.
but always.
Jason,
I'm always
Jason, just
looking
ask
out
it
for
right back to her.
Exactly.
Hush, Nate.
All right.
I'm always here to help Jason.
Jason Reynolds, thank you very much. He's apparently still single. We'll be watching. Thank you. Stuntboy, in the meantime, is on sale today wherever you like to buy your books.